Hey guys, let's get more news about Steelers, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Pittsburgh Steelers owner sends message to Mike Tomlin. Mike knows what the goal is. Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin is safe, and team president Art Rooney too made that clear at his season-ending press conference on Monday. I think when you look at how many games Mike has won in this league, you don't win that many games if you're not a good coach, Rooney said. I know he's frustrated like we all are in terms of not being able to take that next step, but we still feel good about him being the leader and still think he has the strengths that he always had in terms of being able to lead a team. The other side of the coin is when you look at the fact that we have 6, 7, 8 teams a year that turn their coaches over. When you have a good coach, you just try to keep building with them. Yet, the Steelers have not won a playoff game in 8 years, one of the longest droughts in team history. In the modern era, it is largely unprecedented. Rooney says that while Tomlin's message is getting through, that needs to change. We got to figure out what to do better, Rooney said. Mike knows what the goal is. He's as disappointed as I am. Look, it's fair to question it after losing 5 in a row, but when I talk to the players, I think the players still want to play for Mike. I'm not concerned about his message or that kind of an issue. Tomlin has now lost 6 in a row in the postseason, which is a Steelers franchise record and the longest active streak in Tomlin's tenure. His last playoff win was in 2017. With that, Tomlin joins 4 other coaches in the pantheon of NFL history as coaches who have lost 6 or more straight playoff games in their career. Jim Mora, Marvin Lewis, Marty Schottenheimer, and Shane Owen are the only other coaches to reach that mark. Lewis holds the record with 7 straight playoff losses. Desperate Steelers don't learn from past mistakes in this 3-round mock draft. Was the MVP of the AFC Championship game James Cook? Arrowhead Addict. -00:00. Times appear rough for the Steelers this offseason. Most of their questions from 2024 are still issues, and the team appears directionless. They haven't been a legitimate contender for a long time, and after a bitter collapse at the end of the year, things look bleak. The issue on this team runs deep. A lot of their struggles stem from poor draft classes to end Kevin Colbert's time as GM. He overvalued replaceable positions and pigeonholed himself into taking specific positions. While Omar Khan has done a better job in the draft, we saw some big oversights by ignoring the receiver room last offseason. In this mock draft, the Steelers prove they haven't learned their lesson. A team desperate for a turnaround can end up making some bad decisions. That is just what Pittsburgh does in these 3 rounds, ignoring deeper positions in the draft to fill immediate needs. It hasn't worked historically, and I would dread it if the draft started off like this. These 3 rounds ignore the value in hopes of filling specific holes, despite the needs elsewhere on the roster. In short, this is what a desperate team could do during the 2025 draft. Steelers mock draft round 1, Jalen Milroe, QB, Alabama. Jalen Milroe has to be one of the most divisive quarterback prospects in a weak class. He failed to lead Alabama to their usual heights, and as a passer, he took a lot of chances that both helped and harmed his team. Physically, he has everything you want in a quarterback. From a strong arm to incredible mobility, he looks the part of a dynamic running quarterback. On the ground, there isn't a bigger threat in the draft, as he is that impressive on the ground. While he can make any throw, his decision-making as a passer is suspect, and it is clear he needs some time to develop those traits. You also have to build an entirely new offense around him. Given how shallow this quarterback class is, taking him in the first round seems like a mistake. While his ceiling is higher than Justin Fields's, there is no guarantee that he gets there. Being a first-round pick, the expectation will be for him to be the guy sooner than later, but Milroe feels like a guy that needs a year or 2 to get there as a passer. This is a move that screams of desperation from a team that lacks a legitimate quarterback option. Steelers mock draft round 2, Khalil Mullings, RB, Michigan. While taking a running back in the 2nd round isn't out of the question, it would feel disappointing if the team felt like they had to get Khalil Mullings at this juncture. With Najee Harris set to depart and Jaylen Warren stepping into the lead back role, grabbing a power back isn't the worst idea. That being said, Mullings feels like a copy-and-paste clone of Harris, albeit a bit more powerful as a runner but less dynamic as a receiver. That doesn't scream value in the second round. Add in the crop of backs set to enter the draft and this feels like a reach. There are numerous more explosive backs that would make sense in the second round. Just as well, they could wait another round or two and bank on Warren being a bigger fixture on offense. That opens this pick to address another need. Mullings feels like a safe back with a low ceiling but a high floor. Players like that should go later on draft day. For a team that wants a more dynamic backfield, Mullings shouldn't be their guy. Former Broncos QB Russell Wilson on notice amid Steelers' plan. The Denver Broncos do not have the quarterback questions that some of their rivals do, and that is thanks to their decision to jettison Russell Wilson and usher in the Bo Nix era during the 2024 offseason. After a career renaissance with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024, however, Wilson again finds himself facing career uncertainty. Steelers chairman Rooney too had said they would choose between Wilson and Justin Fields. I think they were both capable quarterbacks and my preference would be to sign one of them, so that'll be the priority and I think that will give us the best opportunity to move forward, Rooney said, per ESPN's Brooke Pryor on January 27. Wilson, 36, spoke openly about wanting to return to Pittsburgh next season. He revealed preliminary contract talks with the Steelers during an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show. I wouldn't close the door but I'd say it's probably unlikely both QBs return for 2025, Rooney said, per Pryor. I think both of them see themselves as starters and I don't know that they want to share the same job again next year. Wilson completed 63.7% of his passes for 2,482 yards, 16 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions in 11 games. He went 6-5 as the Steelers starter. However, they lost 5 games to end the regular season and were eliminated by the Baltimore Ravens in the AFC wildcard. Rooney said addressing the quarterback situation is a priority for the Steelers. After the coaching staff is in place, the priority will be the QB position, Rooney said, per Steelers.com's Bob Labriola on January 27. We have some decisions to make there, and I thought both Russ and Justin showed promise in certain stretches, and I think they're both capable of being starters. Wilson signed a 1-year, $1.2 million contract with the Steelers in free agency after the Broncos cut him in year 1 of a 5-year, $245 million contract. A 9-time Pro Bowler, all with the Seattle Seahawks, Wilson could have a 4th team in 4 years. The Broncos incurred an $85 million dead cap hit, absorbing $53 million of it last offseason. There is another $32 million on the Broncos' books for 2025. They will not receive a compensatory pick for Wilson either, because he was cut rather than his contract expiring. And are you a fan? What do you think of Russell Wilson's exit? Leave your opinion in the comments.